So if you're trying to ignore your car light, your car will blow up.
Oh,
You try to ignore a relationship issue, your relationship will blow up.
So true.
Everything blows up if you ignore it.
Get ready. It's time. Christina, Katherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Katherine.
I'm Amy. And
we are
Cimorelli for today.
Oh my gosh.
Hello. Welcome back to the Cimorelli podcast. Lauren is potentially, hopefully not, because I don't want to get sick.
She thought she was gonna.
Sorry, Lauren.
She's getting sick, so she's like, I needed to rest today and hopefully not get sick. So let's
We're
hope.
praying for her, guys.
Fingers crossed,
if
because
she
we have a
gets-
big day tomorrow that I don't want to
Well,
cancel.
and if she gets, yeah, never mind. Anyway,
If she gets a
not
cold,
be good.
you could get a cold.
Well, technically, never mind. Yeah. Anyway,
That's
Don't haunt her.
no.
You know she's a
bad.
I
hypochondriac.
know. Listen, I know a cold isn't that bad.
It's really not.
I know a cold.
She wasn't like,
isn't
guys,
bad.
I have a fever and the chills. She didn't say that.
Yeah, but Amy literally is like, oh my gosh, this
You
person
think
is
she has a fever?
runny nose.
No.
Oh no. So just
No.
don't.
Anyway, guys.
Even
back
if it's
to
the flu,
life.
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We're all
Back
gonna
to
be
reality.
okay.
Okay. Anyway, we're all gonna be
We're
okay.
all gonna be okay.
We wish you the very best.
We've all
Lauren.
gotten sick before.
We wish you the very best, Lauren. Please come back. Anyway.
What's today's episode?
Today's episode is things we didn't know about being adults, because I thought that this might be helpful to you guys who are adults out there or just about to become adults and just like want something to be relatable to you in the trenches, or B, want to get a lay of the landscape, you know? If you're like me and you get older and you're like, what do I need to do? Then yeah, this episode is for you. So
There
yeah,
you go.
that's really all we have to say about that.
So let's jump into our highs and lows of the week. Okay, I'll start. My high is the cover working on Beautiful Things by Benson Boone.
It's really good.
I'm just so excited about it. Lauren cried when she listened to it, just saying, I'm just like, I've been putting so much into it, and like Amy was working on guitar yesterday with William, who's over there. You guys can't see, but it is really exciting. So that's my high, because I've just been freaking out about it the whole week and working on it so much. It's just so good. I'm so excited. Okay, my low was, oh, I know what my low was. My low was over the weekend, I think it was. I was just like, I'm failing at this. You'd think I was PMSing. I was not. I was absolutely not. Weird. I was like, I'm failing. You ever have those times where you think you're failing at everything?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I feel like I can't really see you guys. I feel like I need to turn.
Yeah, it's kind of hard being on the couch.
Okay, those
Because
times
I can't, like, see.
where you suddenly realize you failed at everything in your life.
Yes.
In every category.
Yes.
And everything you're doing is wrong.
Yes.
Normally, it's when you're PMSing, right?
Actually, I don't really feel that as much as feeling like everyone hates me. That's what I feel like.
Oh, really?
I'm like,
I
no
have
one's
that
reached out to me today. I'm alone.
Oh.
That's more of my like Roman
I'll go
Empire.
like, wow, every single thing I'm doing is not measuring up. Everything that I've done is not good enough, whatever. It's kind of like everything I'm doing is not measuring up, basically.
Yes.
So I was like going through, I went on the treadmill to go on, I needed to walk, but it was really bad outside. So I went on a walk on the treadmill to journal my feelings.
Amen.
Walking and journaling is one of the best like combos. So I went on the treadmill and I was just typing out a whole note of everything. I was
you
like,
having a mental breakdown
I
on the
failed at
treadmill
this
in your garage.
and that and this and everything. And I was going through every category
That is too real.
that I thought I was flopping in, basically.
Yeah.
And I got it all out. And then I was like, Nick, you don't know what it's like
To be a failure?
I don't know what actually the whole theme was like. It was like to be me.
Yes.
To be me. Basically, I was like, this and this and this and this. And then you just like get it all out. And then I was like, I didn't feel that good after. But then the next morning I woke up, I was like, in such a better mood.
Love that.
I was actually in like a really good mood. I realized it was just like all this built up repressed emotion, really, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it was like tricking me.
Also, if you have a lot of things that are stressful at one time, everything is just so much more magnified. And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Somehow you're like, okay, every single thing ever in the history of my life is bad. I don't know
Horrible.
how.
Never has been good.
So yeah, that's my high and my low. Next.
Redhead. By the way, your hair looks good.
Is your first podcast with your...
Yes, this is our
Guys,
first
doesn't
one.
Amy's hair look good?
Because this is a second. Okay, the last 2 podcasts we did in the middle of my hair journey, and then I dyed it again the night that we did the last 2 podcasts that we filmed.
She deepened the red.
I deepened the red.
darkness.
Talking
Oh
to
yeah, everyone
British,
was commenting
you
on
know?
it on Instagram on the story we posted of you playing guitar.
Yeah, it's a little bright, but it's fun. It's definitely an experience to have red hair. I forgot about it. It's very.
When did you last have red hair? How long ago was that?
Probably 2 years. Well, 2 years ago I had orange hair, and then I had like bright red hair. But I haven't had like red hair in this sense for probably
like a deep auburn.
maybe since 2016.
That's a long time.
Listen, there's a lot of senses.
8 years.
You guys are just gossiping in the corner, whatever. Anyway,
I mean, they could be
they
saying.
literally just sit there texting each other
I
the whole
think she looks
time.
absolutely amazing.
It's not saying it's about me. I'm just laughing because
Okay.
they just sit there texting each other the whole time.
Okay.
Well,
Well, they're allowed to do that.
I know.
Technically.
Never gonna
We're
get
never
through
gonna
it.
get there. I don't know what my high or my low is. It's been a tough day. No, okay.
Let's see, today's your low because you're panicking.
Yes. Listen, I've been panicking all week.
Okay, so you've been
It's fine.
panicking a lot this week.
I've had a lot going on this week, so it's just kind of been like in the trenches. Oh, Valentine's was fun. We like decorated cakes and
Good.
hung out. It was fun. But yeah, I've just like been a little kerbobbled. You know what I mean? You know. But my high is that I am liking my new hair now, so that's good. It took a minute. And because it always does. You can't just dye your hair and like it at first unless it's something like very chill.
My one experience of dyeing my hair, it's like every time you look in the mirror, you're like, wait, who's that? Oh,
Yeah.
right, that's me. Okay.
And
to
I,
like adjust.
when I dyed my hair orange, I cried because I was like, I can't stand up against this. Probably because it wasn't in my palette.
There you go.
But when I had makeup, it looked fine. So yeah, that's my life.
Okay.
I don't really know.
I don't really know.
I would say my low was
April
probably
25th?
this morning. It wasn't like horrible. It's just I'm 34 weeks tomorrow, pregnant, and it's just getting really hard for me to move around. Mainly like going on the ground, picking stuff up, standing back up, like my twins and their various messes and things I have to pick up. I just get really bad heartburn, and it's giving me. So I think I'm having really bad heartburn now because I was up and down all morning.
That ain't right.
So it's just, and then I have to. It's like so annoying because I'm like, I like to be on the go, but with this heartburn situation, because my organs are all pushed up into my ribs, I have to like sit for like 15, 20 minutes after I eat and just not move, or else I start getting heartburn. I'm like, I can't even live my life. It's such a minor thing, but it's just annoying. So
I know, it sounds major to me.
I would say heartburn is definitely, it's kind of crippling me a little lately, just making me not
hate
live.
that.
Yeah, so that's been, I don't know, just kind of this morning is my low. It's just sad because I want to be a good mom that is like fun and like takes my boys outside to play and like does fun things, but it's like they started running in the mud and I was like, no, I can't handle that. Like, and of course I still had to wash all their laundry and their shoes, and Leo peed on the floor, and it was just like, oh my gosh, so much bending over and heartburn. But yeah, that's just my low. My high is that Max and I went on a really fun date for Valentine's Day. It was so fun.
I love that.
We just went, it was so simple. We were going to go somewhere else, but then our circumstances changed. So we went somewhere really close by, and we went to this Greek place. And it was like, I don't know, just like such a low key family restaurant. There was a like guitar player playing acoustic guitar, and we got pizza and
cute.
just like talked. And we pretty much just talked about the new baby the entire time, and just like what our life's going to be like and the changes that are coming and things that we have right now and how things might be different. And I don't know, it was a really good conversation. Just simple, but perfect. Good. So yeah, that's my high.
We love to see it, Kat.
Simple but perfect. Okay, so that's our highs and lows. Shall we get into the main topic?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into the things that... Oh, what is it? The things that shocked
things
us.
we wished
Things we wish.
we knew before we became adults.
Oh, before we start, I got to say, guys, if you want to watch every full episode, you got to join our Patreon, patreon.com/Cimorelli, link in the description. You get every full episode because we only post every other one fully on YouTube. And you also get our Monday content, which is like a Q&A with one of us, or we might switch up something else soon, actually. And there's an exclusive live stream with us every single month. We try to give away some piece of information that's completely unknown to the public, like playing like a demo or telling you guys like what our next release is or something that nobody knows. We do that every month. And there are old series we've done there that are really good. And there's, oh my gosh, the Throwback Thursday stuff like Lisa's Wacky Wednesdays, guys. That alone is worth it. But
funny.
Anyway, if you want to support us, that's a great way to support us. And we appreciate it so much. We love our patrons so much. Shout out to our patrons. We love you guys. All right, let's jump in. So we each made a list. My list is so bad. I really need help.
Listen, maybe you'll think of things as we go.
We can start on my side if you want. Maybe we'll give you some ideas.
Yeah. Somehow it's Wednesday today, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm completely brain dead. Why? What did I even do this week?
I think you did a lot this week. I don't remember.
I barely am sleep deprived. Haven't been sleeping the most.
You are a mother of 2 toddlers and you also work a lot. So I think your baseline is just a lot lower these days.
But normally, almost every week, I make it to Thursday really well.
Without crashing.
Well,
And
you've done a lot of work
I've
on the cover this week.
brain dead
And
this
that's a lot of mental
Yeah,
energy.
we have a lot of projects right now. Getting ready for my
Man, that's
impending
annoying.
maternity leave. It's a lot.
Yeah, that is annoying.
So let's go.
Let's
Let's
start.
go.
By
You
us,
go
I mean
first.
Kat.
Okay. Guys, sorry, not trying to brag, but I was kind of on the opposite of the spectrum of this. Like, I was thinking of this list and it was just like flowing in my brain. I was driving and I was like vocally talk to texting.
Good. I love that.
Okay, so
You
the
can
first
carry.
thing
You carry us.
that surprised me. So let me just preface this by saying I'm almost 32. I'll be 32 in like a couple weeks. Crazy. And I guess technically you turn an adult when you're 18, like legally, or maybe it's different in other countries. But for me, I think I became an adult when I moved out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
I was 23.
Oh my gosh.
Which was older than I wanted to be. I was ready when I was like 20.
Kat, think about me. I was... Wait, what year was that?
2015.
2016.
I was 24.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, wait.
24 is so young,
I was
though.
23. How is that different? It's literally 1 year.
Also, a lot of people are moving out.
I was
Like,
almost 25.
well, a lot of people go to college and
Well,
then move back in with their parents.
But correct me if I'm
too,
wrong. Did you
so-
want to move out?
Not
Because
really.
I really did. I would literally sit there and fantasize
mind
about
it.
making a grocery list. I made grocery lists of things I would buy
That is so weird. No
for
offense.
myself.
We were... Okay,
that no
we
one
were-
else was going to steal.
We were all living in Malibu together with our parents. We'd all
my
moved there
gosh.
together when
Yeah.
I was 20.
And there are 11 kids in our family. That's a lot of people.
And then we
under
were
one roof.
moving, we were leaving our label and everything and moving to Nashville in 2015. So at that point I was 24 and I wasn't really like, I need to get out of this house for some reason,
I
but
was
everyone else.
A
climbing the
lot
walls.
of people stay in their, like, they stay at home until later these days.
Also,
I mean-
there's no shame in that too. Like if you with your parents longer, there's no shame in that. Everyone's different, and everyone's lives are different
think
trajectories.
I
That's
really
okay.
didn't like the idea. This is going to sound wild. I really didn't like the idea of living in a house with less than like 10 people or whatever.
Honestly,
agree.
so
I didn't like that
It was a
idea.
Yeah, when
really
we
hard
moved to
adjustment.
Nashville, it was just we were all in the same area, but it was the 4 oldest girls in an apartment together. So
Yeah.
Christina had her own room, I had my own room, and then Lisa and Amy shared a
We
room.
shared a room.
and it was so quiet. Was it not? Like
one
it
left
was
their
annoying.
room.
silence was deafening. I sat just soaking in the silence for months. Like
I
wow.
did not like
It's
it.
like nobody. It's like we had a lifetime of
hated
having
it.
no alone time.
Yeah,
So
honestly,
then everyone took like months of alone time.
I
It
get
was
so
wild.
overstimulated, and living in that house with all those people for so many years, you know, it was fun, but I was also like, get me out of here. This is the rats.
So that was the moment we all kind of at
Yeah.
the same time, even though we were different ages, like we all became adults at the same time.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
then
mean,
suddenly
I was
so our
20.
parents kicked us out. They said, we're moving to Nashville and you guys cannot move into our house. And I was like,
yes.
what the heck? Even though I was 24, but I was like,
I called every apartment complex. It's like, you got a room?
Kath found
We're looking.
our apartment for us.
I will say, I was like,
What was our responsibilities? Mine was paying Oh, I did pay a bill. I paid the rent.
It seems that Amy and I have
Every
kind of
month.
taken on a lot.
I did a lot
I think
of the
I
bill
paid that.
paying. Why? I don't know.
Someone did the internet. Who was that?
Me.
Yeah. For some
I
reason, Amy.
like, you do
cried
it.
so many
was always me or Amy.
times.
Wait, what?
Because every time I got a new bill, tears. Tears.
And for some
Tears,
reason, that
tears.
doesn't bother. I think everyone is bothered by different things in adulthood.
You don't care about paying bills?
No, you guys would, not everyone, but a lot of the siblings would freak out like, oh my gosh, this thing broke. What do you do? I'm like, I will look up companies and look at their Google reviews, and I will find a person that specializes in that type of repair and call them and make an appointment.
That's different.
That does
I'm
not
talking
bother
about
me.
having to spend money.
Okay, so that I did freak out.
When you get a bill, tears.
Yeah. So, okay. That is the first thing. And also, too, I want to also say, sorry, deep thoughts here. I actually think there's waves of adulthood. That was the first.
Yes.
That
I
was the
agree.
first wave. And another wave for me was when, well, maybe when we bought our house. That was another one.
Also, like,
Being a homeowner.
Being a homeowner.
I would recommend staying where you have no bills for, a comfortable amount of time until you have a good
if you're
amount
good at saving
saved.
money.
How
Yeah.
old were you?
I was 19.
I have to say we had $0 saved.
Yeah.
When we moved into our apartment, we had $0.
I had many dollars.
Okay, not you. You had your Coogan account.
I had many dollars saved.
Yeah.
when we moved
I
in that
had
apartment.
zero. Well, I guess it's kind of.
But that's the thing.
Basically,
is like,
I had $0.
The way is, if you're wanting to move out, you gotta start looking at that like years ahead, and work towards it.
Yeah. But I will say,
That's
like,
the truth.
it was so expensive, like buying all these, like we had to buy like mattresses and beds and like different things. We barely even bought
And
furniture.
Now it's like 10 times more expensive.
But I'm saying at that time, it's actually very nostalgic to me. I remember being like, I can't buy all, I mean, I could, but I was like, I don't want to spend every penny I have saved. So I remember going to Goodwill and getting like my dishes and silverware and pillowcases. And I was so, I don't know, it's just such a like sweet time looking back at that. I'm like, wow, that was a scrappy time and I loved it. Like I don't know, I was proud of
fun.
myself.
it was traumatizing.
But I will say there was a moment where I can't remember, it was like a couple
you were
months.
19?
I turned 20 a month after we moved.
Oh yeah, basically, sorry guys, I'm literally rambling, but the whole point of mine is the grief of losing your childhood.
Oh, that is
I
so
cried every
cute.
time I left
Oh
my
my
parents'
gosh.
house for a long time.
I was like, I was 24. I'm like, my childhood is so.
Yes, and another,
That's so
I was
true.
saying like,
Separating yourself
I
is
feel like
hard.
adulthood comes in waves, and the next big wave that I felt, well, there was a couple, but like a huge one was when I got married and I moved out of my house that was with my sisters, and I was getting ready to move in with my husband, and I remember going through all my stuff and packing up and reading these old childhood journals from when I was 12, and I was just bawling.
sad.
Like, I wasn't even that I was sad. It was just like, oh my gosh, like it was this bittersweet feeling of like, wow, the girl in this journal who was 12, if she could see me now, she would be proud of me. And like, we've come so far.
nice.
But also
Wow.
like, it was just like the impending of like, my life is about to change so much. What's it going to be like? Kind of scary,
Yeah.
The
was
unknown.
hard. Being in a room in a house with one person,
I can't even imagine.
even more quiet.
I loved it.
Hey, but now it's really loud.
Yes, thank goodness we have noise back in my house.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
So
A lot of
anyway,
noise.
that was
We
my
love
long
it.
ramble of the grief of losing your childhood.
That hit
That's
me
really
when I
hard.
turned 20 because I'm like, I'm not a teenager anymore. I feel like that took me so many years to like heal from, to be like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a teen anymore. Like, I'm an adult. And the idea of an adult seemed like a lot more depressing. It seemed like your fun is basically over. But now, as a
Interesting.
33-year-old, I don't feel like that anymore. But that was so hard for me. I probably didn't happen to you because you're like, I want to be older all the time.
No, it still did.
Oh, okay. I did not want to be older. I never wanted to be older.
See,
I
remember
wasn't like,
how
I did not want to be older, but I wasn't like, I need to be older. I was just like, I really like childhood and teenage years. Like, that was just so fun.
Remember how we talked about old souls versus young souls
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
recent episode? I wonder if that's a big difference because I always was excited to be older and like wanted to like keep going into the next phase of life and like, ooh, what do I have coming up? Like I remember someone gave me like these hand towels for like a gift and I was like, oh, I'm going to save these for when I'm like living out on my own and married. Like when I was with my sisters, like I could have used them in that house, but I had this box of things I was saving for like the next chapter. So I was always excited. Honestly, I don't feel like I was that sad becoming 20 or like, I don't know. Even 30s, I'm like, oh, I like 30s.
I don't know.
So what's yours, Amy?
Let's see.
Now that I've-
My list is not as good. But you know
Mine's
what? Let's
not
not try.
good.
Let's not. Okay.
Guys, don't judge your list.
The biggest thing that I am still learning is to keep track of my finances. It's so difficult because I have a
Oh,
lot
I
of
wrote that on mine.
anxiety. I have a lot of financial anxiety. So I'd rather just like not look at my bank account, but I have to. So I feel like a lot
Not
of people
looking is
relate to
so-
that though.
Not looking is so much more stressful to me.
It's all stressful to me, but yeah.
When I look at everything and I see like what's there in front of me, it's just so, even if it's not the best, it's still so much better.
Yeah, putting your bills on auto pay is like revolutionary because I had a problem where I would not pay my bills till they were late because I didn't want to pay. I was scared. I couldn't get myself to do it. But you gotta look at the bank account. You gotta crunch a few numbers, shed a few tears.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
get some ice cream to help. I don't know.
I feel like that's a big change though that you make as you get older. Like I remember feeling that way and ignoring a bank account for a long time, but every
get
time I
better
thought
at
of
it.
it, I got anxiety.
Exactly.
And then I switched to like budgeting, and then I felt way more like now if I don't budget, I get a lot of anxiety. Like, Max, we need to do the budget.
How often
Like,
do you check everything? Like check in on, like do a whole like assessment of like the currently what's going on, like what'd you spend
Well,
recently?
I
blah, blah,
have
blah.
the Every Dollar app, and we enter in our transactions, which I'm not always perfect at, but I try to do it weekly. I try
When
to
do you
enter
do
in.
it?
Oh,
Just at a random
I have
time.
like a spreadsheet.
Because I'm trying to stick to my budget. So I'm like, oh, I get my groceries every weekend. I need to put in the ones from last week so I can see that. Let's see if I went over for that week or not. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to be good about doing it every single week. Sometimes
Love
I'm not
that.
as good, but the last few months I've been really consistent.
I'm trying to get a system, I cannot figure it out, where I keep up with actually looking at things. Like we have an app that like records everything basically that we do, but I have to like still like categorize some things. They go into an automatic, like Amazon, just like Amazon. I have to like actually categorize all of them in the app, but I'm like struggling trying to find the right time, like weekly, to look into everything. Like it's got to be the right time of week and the right time of day.
I
And
think-
I can't
No,
find the right time.
literally.
I think connecting it with groceries is really good because that's something you do every week anyway.
That's a good point.
So you're like, okay, get your brain to train to go like, okay, it's time to groceries. Let me like enter my finances in the
really
app
smart.
and do it
That's
every
a good
week.
point.
And we actually have it set so that we don't pay the extra to like have them enter our transactions from our bank accounts. So we have to do it manually, which I actually like because
I don't
like,
want them in my bank
keeps
account.
me it keeps me accountable.
Yeah.
I'm also paranoid, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, no, same. I would be like, no way, no way.
Yeah. Anywho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what's my first one? Oh, okay, my only good one. Or the realization, whatever. Like, do you all have this moment where you realize, like, your parents made all these, like, rules and boundaries for you, and then they're not there anymore, and then you're like,
Yes.
I'm the parent, and, like, they told you, like, when to go to bed. And they told you, like, oh, sit down and have a meal at the table, not just like eat a bunch of stuff randomly on the couch or run around eating random snacks. They're like, or your mom every single night basically made you chicken and a whole salad and whatever the heck. And you're like, wait, I have to make the salad. I don't know. You realize they put all the boundaries in place that keep
The
you
ghost of your mom's boundaries.
well fed, well rested, on a
Yeah.
schedule, do your chores, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I
Have to do that.
have to now be like, do your chores.
I never was like that because I came
to
out of
bed,
the womb being
whatever.
like, do your chores, go to bed, eat a vegetable.
That's so funny.
I came out of the womb like that.
And you realize as you get older that some rules are good and then some you're like, wait, I don't actually need
I
to
don't
do this.
agree with that.
Like there's multiple good ways. Like, okay, one, for instance, I do think eating together as a family at the dinner table without distractions is a really good,
Oh my gosh.
like
Yeah, I agree.
that is like life
I
goals. But
agree.
I also know that I'm in a season of life where
so many of my meals in my bed.
we have like you also, honestly, when I was like single and stuff,
Oh,
I would
yeah,
literally
like-
eat on the floor in my room.
Exactly.
I didn't care.
Like I need my me time. I eat by myself
and
watching
but I think there's
TV.
nothing wrong with that.
We have been really bad at that. And then recently we got back on it. And the next day after the first day when I was like, we're doing family dinner. And Barrett like tried to pray for the first time. He never actually said, we got to do Father, first son. So then he's like,
Aw.
bless. He doesn't know any words. He's like, bless, blah, 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 blah. He like tries to say the words.
That's
and
so
then the
cute.
next day he said, Mom, remember when we did family dinner, which was that night before?
Aw.
And then I was like, oh my gosh.
He loved it.
It means a lot to him. So we've been doing it. We've been back on track. And
That's
he keeps
so
saying,
cute.
remember when we did family dinner? And I
Aw.
realize it's such like an anchor.
Yeah.
And it's peaceful. We sit down and stop what we're doing. We're actually sitting there eating, focusing, and we did family breakfast too
I love family
last week as
breakfast.
well. And yeah, I just realized it is really good. I feel like I thought about that and I still think about that so many times, but actually, wait, here's the way I was thinking of it. I was thinking our parents give us all these boundaries, but I actually think they don't. I realize adults don't really do them to themselves very much, but they easily just tell you, go to bed, blah, blah. But then I was like, oh, but adults have a much harder time with themselves being like, go to bed. Like you have to tell yourself go to bed, but your parent tells you to go to bed, you have to go to your bed.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go to your bed.
Well, your parent tells you to go to bed so they can have free time.
Yes, that
I know
is
this
true.
now as a parent.
That is 100% true.
Well, and also because it's good for you, like as a child. But
yeah.
that's
So-
interesting. Yeah, I had that moment. I remember my mom would always be like, don't plan more than one activity a day. And I was always like, that's dumb. Like, why are you limiting me? You're just ruining my life. But then I got older and I planned like a million things a day. And I was so tired for literally years until I finally was like, Kath, you're burning yourself out. You're doing way too many things. My mom was right, as much as I hate to admit it.
that.
Yeah.
What's on yours next?
Okay. My next one is, this kind of connects to my first one, the Joy of Frugality. Love it. So I am definitely not a naturally frugal person. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I love to spend, love to experience, love to try new things that cost money. But as I've gotten older, I've had to be more sensible, especially adding kids into the picture. You have medical bills, expenses, and just had to like be more thoughtful about money. And at first it feels very restrictive and very like suffocating. But then after time, it becomes more of like this fun challenge. It's like,
I love it so much.
it's so fun. And it's like, ooh, what can I get? That's like, I don't know. And I'm not a person that's like, oh, I'm just going to buy the ultimate, like I'm not going to shop from like one of these sweatshop type places, but like, I want to try to get like a good deal. Yeah, I don't go that far, but it's like, what can I do that's like a reasonable, like good deal? And do I even need to buy this thing? And I just feel like, I don't know, it's become really fun and I enjoy it. And I realize like I bought so much stuff in the past to try to like make myself happy. And I don't think it really like actually made me happy. So I really enjoy the frugality of like getting a good deal now, but not just shopping to shop, because I'm definitely becoming way more of a minimalist. So
Love that.
yeah.
Let's take a look. See. Oh, you can't ignore things until they go away, because they don't go away.
So true.
Things don't go away when you're old. They really don't. So if you're trying to ignore your car light, your car will blow up.
Oh.
If you're trying to ignore a health issue, your body will blow up. Like, and it's just like, you can't ignore things. You're trying to ignore a relationship issue, your relationship will blow up.
So true.
Everything
That's a good
blows
point.
up if you ignore it. But if you see something and you say something, if you see something and then you can adjust, it won't blow up. But you have to, it takes a lot to make yourself do things in life, as you were saying, because it's just so hard. But if you can look at your bank account, look at your problems, look at your life, and just like make those little changes as you see them, you save yourself so much time, money, explosions.
A lot of times cleaning up the mess is way worse than it would have been if you just did it in the first place.
Yes. Yes. Things will blow up. So just keep an eye. Keep an eye.
Thanks for listening to the Cimorelli podcast. To hear the rest of this episode, join our Patreon at patreon.com/Cimorelli, where we post every episode in full. You can also watch all of our past seasons and Patreon-only episodes when you become a patron.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Facebook and Instagram.